Hi, welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm here to help you to heal your anxiety naturally. So, on today's episode, what we're going to be talking about is I get a lot of messages from people on TikTok and on Instagram. They're telling me about, what they're struggling with and how much I relate to them and how much I'm actually helping them out, which is amazing. And I really love to hear that. Like, I'm actually able to help people out. Just them knowing that they're not alone helps them out so much, because I definitely understand how that feels of whenever you're alone and you feel like you're lost and nobody understands you and you finally have somebody that doesn't understand. It's an amazing feeling. And whenever I get messages, a lot messages from people, they're telling me, like, I asked them, like, hey, how long have you been struggling with anxiety and everything? What have you been doing in order to, calm down your anxiety, which is a key thing to know. Like, what are you doing in order to calm down your anxiety? It's something important to know. And I always ask them, and I always get an answer of, oh, I'm just fighting my anxiety. I'm trying to fight it every single day. And whenever I asked them, like, can you be more detailed by it? Like, what do you mean by fighting? It's like, oh, well, I'm just trying to push it out. I'm trying to ignore it. I'm trying to keep busy. Certain things like this, these kind of answers I get a lot. And I just want to address this in order for people to understand that what is the right way to fight anxiety. And don't feel bad that right now, whenever I'm talking about this and saying that you're not doing it the right way, it doesn't mean that you're bad or you're not capable or anything like that. I was the same exact way as well. I was in your situation. It's just that you don't know exactly what needs to be done in the right way, which I also didn't know for such a long time. And I was trying to fight my anxiety by keeping busy and trying to push it out and trying to ignore it and trying to avoid it. And those coping mechanisms didn't really help me in healing my anxiety. And that's why a lot of us, we struggle for years and years and years, and we don't understand why we're not overcoming this. And we feel kind of burnt out. We feel tired. I'm like, how much can I fight this already? And I don't see the results. I've been trying so many things, but it doesn't seem like I'm getting any better. It doesn't seem like my anxiety is going away. And again, the key thing is over here is that the reason why is because we are trying to fight our anxiety in the wrong way. We're not trying to fight it in the right way. And there's a big difference, because whenever we're trying to avoid or keep busy or, trying to push it out, what it does is it's not really treating the issue. So, for example, whenever we avoid a situation, what we're doing right there is we're telling to the amygdala, like, hey, that situation that we are ignoring, that is a dangerous situation. So whenever we are in that situation, we got to trigger the fight and fight mode, and we're experiencing anxiety. Or, for example, whenever we're busy, we're always keeping busy, right? So that we don't have any thoughts and we don't feel those symptoms, which, again, being busy is great. It's not a bad thing. It's good to occupy your mind, but at the same time, we also want to be able to rest, after that busy day or whatever we're doing. We also would like to have some downtime, which is very hard whenever we're experiencing anxiety. So whenever we're keeping busy, what happens is that we are telling to the amygdala once again, like, hey, anxiety is a dangerous thing, or the thoughts that we're having is dangerous, or the symptoms that we're experiencing is dangerous. So we have to be careful and not experience these things, and we need to push it out. So what happens is that the second we calm down, the second we try to relax, boom, anxiety is back and it's flooded. And even when we're busy, what happens is that we have anxiety lingering around in the background. The thoughts are always lingering in the background, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going away. I remember whenever I was trying to keep busy, I remember my aunt used to have a garden in her house, and I used to go there and during the summertime and try to fix up the garden, because I heard it's very therapeutic. But the entire time while I was doing it, it was amazing, first of all. But the entire time that I was doing it, I still had anxiety thoughts in the background. Of course, the gardening help and, keeping myself busy, it did help to a certain extent, but it wasn't the solution, and it wasn't the proper way, because the moment I would sit down and try to relax, boom, thoughts start coming back. My symptoms start coming back. So it really wasn't a solution. So, and also ask yourself, how long can you actually keep yourself busy? It's not really a feasible thing. And it doesn't really help to actually calm down the anxiety. Again, it just helps you to occupy yourself in the meantime, which is great. But again, it's not the solution. Another thing that we do a lot is we try to push out the thoughts that we have. We try to fight the thoughts that we have. We don't want to think this way. And again, it definitely makes sense in doing that because we're so used to doing that in general with other things in life that we're trying to fight it and overcome it. But whenever we're trying to do with anxiety, all we're getting is more anxiety. We're getting more anxious, and it doesn't seem like it's going away. It doesn't seem like it's helping. But again, it makes sense to us to fight it, to push it out, to try to not think this way, which is very hard to do. And I remember my social worker, I remember what he told me, the guy who helped me to control my anxiety and have a better understanding. He asked me, he's like, Emmanuel, when I tell you not to think about an elephant, what are you going to do automatically? You're going to think about an elephant because I tell you not to think about an elephant. Same thing with anxiety. Whenever we're telling ourselves not to think about anxiety or not to think this way, what we are doing is that we are thinking that way automatically. We are focusing on the not, trying to not think that way, but in the background, we are still thinking about that thought. So whenever we're trying to fight it or trying not to think that way, whatever we're doing is that we're creating more of that. So what we need to do is accept the thoughts, not fight the thoughts, because, and I know that's hard to do, is like, Emmanuel, I don't want to accept these thoughts. I don't want to think about these thoughts. I have intrusive thoughts. Why would I accept them? It makes no sense. And I agree with you. Once again, I agree with you. It makes perfect sense of what you are saying. But the thing is that number one, ask yourself, what have you been doing so far? Has it been helping you in overcoming your anxiety? Has it been helping you to heal your anxiety? That is something that I asked myself. I said, Emmanuel, okay, I don't want to accept it, but I've heard that it does help. It does help to calm down the anxiety. So far, whatever I have been doing hasn't helped. So maybe we should try it this way. And I remember the first time doing it, it was really hard to accept. It was really hard just to let the thoughts flow. And I was trying to fight it, but I was like, no, stop doing that. Accept it. Just be with it. And it's hard to do that in the beginning. It really, really is. But eventually what happened was that I started to feel much better. Eventually, again, it took some time for my brain to change itself into thinking and to stop focusing on the thoughts. Because whenever you don't want to think about it, whenever you're fighting it, what you're doing automatically is you're focusing on the thoughts. You are focusing on the situation. You are focusing on it. But whenever you're accepting, what you're doing is that you're just letting them come in. And you're just letting them come in. But again, you're not accepting the thought of itself. You're not accepting the meaning of the thought. You're just accepting the thought. You're just letting it in. And meaning it doesn't mean it's going to control over you and now it's going to take over you. No, what happens whenever you're accepting it and you're just letting it in and just let it flow, eventually it passes by and your focus goes onto something else. This helps to calm down your anxiety much better whenever you're trying to fight it. And this also, by the way, helps whenever we're trying to keep ourselves busy. We're trying to keep ourselves busy so we don't think this way, right? Or we're trying to avoid the situation. Whenever we accept it, it helps much better whenever we are in those situations and whenever you are experiencing anxiety to help it to calm down. And remember, because whatever you have been doing so far, hasn't given you the results that you want. So why not try something else? In order to get new results, we have to try new things. But if we're going to try the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, we are going to get the same results. And we ask ourselves, but why am I still thinking this way? Why do I still experience anxiety? Why is this thing not going away? I've been trying for so many years, but I get the same exact results. So that's where you need to ask yourself, okay, you know what? I've been trying for so many years. It hasn't been helping me. I am willing to try something new. And it's scary. I'm not saying that it's not. And a lot of us, we are scared. I was scared. I was terrified to try something else because all I knew was to fight. All I knew was try to ignore because that's what I've been doing most of my life. I've been trying to avoid situations that caused me anxiety. I would try to avoid certain people that would make me feel anxious. So I just continued doing this way because it worked in the past. But whenever you have an anxiety disorder, it doesn't help. You need to change. We need to change so that we can start feeling better, so that we can start being anxiety free and calming down our anxiety. It's definitely going to take some time to get used to this, because we've been programmed in a certain way, but we need to reprogram ourselves in order for us to overcome and heal our anxiety. And we need to use the right tools, fight with the right tools in order for us to overcome and heal our anxiety. And one of the tools that we have in our arsenal is accepting and not pushing out and not trying to avoid and not trying to fight it. More of accepting and bringing in. Again, you're not approving of the thought or anything like that. You're just accepting of whatever it is, the way it is. This also will help us to accept ourselves, because a lot of us, we're not accepting of our situation, of whatever we're going through. But if we are able to learn that way and accepting the thoughts, we're able to accept our situation of what we are going through in order for us to start feeling much better. So remember that the fighting that you're doing currently, right now, it hasn't helped you in overcoming your anxiety, and that we need to try something new in order for us to get different results. And the whole entire point of this episode was to address that issue that a lot of us are dealing with, and not understanding of why we're not getting better, so that we have some clarity and know, okay, this is not the right direction that I've been taking in order to get to my goal. And what we need to do is change the direction in order to get to our destination, in order for us to overcome our anxiety. If you are ready to heal and overcome your anxiety and to stop experiencing symptoms, I've created a course where I walk you through a step-by-step process in how to heal and overcome your anxiety. Over there, I will teach you what anxiety is, how it works, how it tricks you, where it is coming from, and why you are experiencing these symptoms, and what you can do about it, all naturally. If you are ready, the link is down below in the description. Click on it so you can join the course. As well, I'm coming out with a live coaching event where I'll have me for over 8 weeks and a group of people where we'll work together in overcoming our anxiety as a unit, so that we can all achieve the same goal. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because the more people that we can reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because again, my purpose is to help people to overcome their anxiety. That is what I want to do. So if you know somebody that is struggling with anxiety, share this episode with them so they can also benefit. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.